Hi, today we are at Marsh Cemetery in Valley Township, Scioto County, Ohio. This is one of the cemeteries that's been on our to-do list for quite some time. We pass it every time we go north on US 23. And this white column, this obelisk, always catches our eye. On this side, we have the inscription for William Marsh, who was born September 20th, 1785, and died May 6, 1851. On the opposite side, we have the inscription for Sarah Lynn, his wife, who was born October 10th, 1801, and died September 24th, 1881. And from what we've seen, this is the last burial for this family cemetery. Now, at first, the information that we had that this cemetery is located on Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections property, according to the Scioto County GIS. Now, we don't typically see that. We do see property on ODNR, but from the 2004 notes from Jackie Journey, when speaking with the property owner, the adjacent property owner, that this cemetery had been at one time located closer to US 23 and was moved to allow for the expansion to a 4-lane highway. Later on, we'll go back and look at some aerial imagery from the late 1940s and possibly see if the cemetery was still located here. But what we can tell is that there's a general straight line with a few exceptions. We'll see those in a moment. We went ahead and uncovered a few what could be pieces of base or tablets. You'll see why in a moment, since these are all in a straight line. This is a base that we found. We can see the carving in the side. And this goes on. We have more stone pieces. We have several slotted bases. Here we have the broken marble marker for Emily Herod. And her last name was also Marsh. She was the first wife of William Marsh, and she died when she was between 17 and 18 years of age. Now, beneath her marker is a slotted base, which is of a dimension more in line with a footstone. So that kind of indicates that these stones have been moved around over the years, whether in the maintenance of the cemetery or the removal of the cemetery from another location. Here near this new growth tree, we have another stone that's possibly been pushed to the surface. And here we have a marble marker with no inscription, with the exception of Father, and then it's on its base here. Now, with marble markers like this, we can tell that it's not a slotted base, so most likely it's pinned. We'll see why that's important in a moment. What we have is, we suspect that this is actually a footstone that would have belonged to William's much larger obelisk marker. And that's something that we see fairly common, is large obelisks that have all of the family's names on it. And then we'll have footstones that bear their position within the family. Here we have a smaller slotted base with no die. Then we have a base with a plinth stone with no inscriptions. We suspect that it is also for either like a vaulted column or an obelisk as well. Marker we'll see in a moment is what lends our suspicions that it may be for an obelisk. But that stone is missing. Another slotted base. And here we have another, what would have been a pin base, and you can see the hole there in the middle. It's of a similar dimension as the one that says Father. over there for marble. So you can imagine you have a large obelisk that has parents' names, footstones, one that says father, and one that would say mother. Now, we do know that there were several children, at least 6, I believe,
Yeah.
that didn't live past the age of 6 years old, with many of them not living past the age of 2. We'll come back near what we think to be the entrance of the cemetery. Here we have the adjacent property owner whose driveway you use to access the property with permission. But we'll come down here, and here we have a nice column, and this is for Charles, and he died in
1863.
1863, and he was 6 years of age.
Yes.
Okay, and we can see that there would have been a finale.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's how you say that, at the top. So if you imagine an upturned torch or an urn, that would have been pinned there to the top. So you can see the dimensions of the base there. It's a pretty close fit for what we have up top. What's strange is all these markers are in a strange line, except for this one. There's a marker not too far away, but it's a flat tablet marker, like a ledger stone, but it has no inscription. But it's limestone and something that we typically see in cemeteries, but you also see it in architectural features.
Yeah.
But again, this is Marsh Cemetery in Valley Township, Scioto County, Ohio. Thank you all for being out with us today.